me? Can you hear me now? Andrew, welcome to the chat, buddy. Can you hear me now? I can see the audio on my side. The little bar is moving up and down, indicating my microphone's working. Can you hear me now? All right. Welcome to the live stream. Random Joe Gamer, appreciate you attending. So tonight we're going to be doing the A1 thing here, and no, it's not the steak sauce. It's my favorite though. We got our A1 here from Bamboo. Well, by Bamboo, but not from them. We did pay for this out of studio funding. We did have successful prints of Pretzels last week, so that was cool. I got to peel off some of the brims. I really wish I would not have used those brims, but that gold filament from Sunlu, even though it says it's gold, is not really gold, but it is perfect pretzel color. Now, if I had the chroma kit frozen, and we could have printed some salt crystals on there, that would have been cool. But tonight, I figured I'd give you guys a little bit of a behind the scenes preview here of what we're going to be doing. We're going to be rearranging some of the Bamboo equipment here, and then also kind of like allocating to a separate section of the studio, because we're getting enough equipment now from various different printer companies on another section of the studio, which I'm also going to see at some point. I would like to hook a live stream cam up to that, so while we're live streaming in this location, it's also live streaming over there where it's across the room, but it also can show you guys that as well. But that's kind of the behind the scenes that we're going to do tonight. We're going to do some upgrades to, I'm going to call this Wall-E. Shout out to, I think it's Disney and Pixar, I'm pretty sure, to that little robot, another childhood friend of mine. But we got Alfie and then Wall-E. So, Andrew Crab, I get mine tomorrow. Was supposed to be here today, but FedEx delayed it a day. You're talking about your chroma kit, I'm assuming? Yeah, I got a little excited this week, and turns out I got excited for no reason. I mean, it was a great reason. So I ordered a bunch of parts from Frozen a while back, especially when I ruined my build plate by not doing that calibration before when I took apart the hot end. So I had a Frozen package show up, and no, it's not because it's cold outside, but it showed up on the doorstep, and it was, I should have saved it for you guys. It was about that big. I'm like, oh, it's a chroma kit. I didn't think about it. The chroma kit's going to be bigger than that. But it was a bunch of parts from Frozen, extra hot end, a couple extra build plates here we got. So those parts are available for purchase now. On the, you'll have to contact customer service, I think. I don't know if they're on the website yet, but I did get a couple of those from them. Since we're doing the live stream thing and we have been printing with the Arco for a while, they did give us these at a pretty good discount, so I appreciate that. And now I have some spares. I'd really like to get, I don't know if they make it yet, but I'd really like to get one of these from BQ, those frostbite plates. We use them for everything, as you can see on our A1. But they are, I have yet to see a better build plate that for adhesion purposes, for at least PLA and PTG. Another one of the upgrades that we're doing down here in the studio, I don't know when it'll happen, but things are starting to slow down for us now since it's winter time. Our last art fair show is going to be this coming Saturday. So if you're in Ludington area, you can check us out. We're going to be at the Scottville area. I believe it's the high school. So we're gonna be there, but after that we don't really have any shows until like May time frame. So we're really gonna be able to focus on doing the studio upgrades. I'd like to put some sort of like either monitor or TV here in the streaming area so that I can pull up the comments and watch them come down. Because I want to say it was David that I missed a comment last week, so I'm gonna try to, once he jumps on here, or it might have been Andrew, one of you two guys. I missed one of your comments last week until after the live stream, and I don't remember what it is right now, so I want to make sure I get that answered for you. But that'll help me keep track of having a big screen for you guys to keep track of those comments as they roll in. This whole setup is going to change over the next few weeks. These poles are going to go bye-bye again. I thought I liked them. I don't. And with all the new equipment that's coming in from Frozen, from IBOS, from there's a couple other places that are sending me stuff. I can't think of them right now. But I really need to get that organized better, and I really in the Skådis series that we're going to be continuing filming. That first one's on YouTube, and that was a big hit. So thank you guys if you watched that. More of that to come. That's going to be part of it, and so is that other section. As we do that, we're going to be filming. We just filmed a bunch of content. If you haven't checked out the new video that we just dropped today about P1S maintenance, we just dropped that. We did the little spot kit from K2 Kevin. Super useful. I still haven't figured out what the hot end wire is for. It's a different tool. So, the hot end wire and, well, there's two hot end wire tools. So if you guys print these out from K2 Kevin, if you figure that one out, yeah, hit me up either in the comments or on Facebook or something. I haven't figured out. Obviously, it's for the hot end, but I haven't figured out how to quite use it yet. Chroma kit shipped, David. All right, David. Did you Printed Trucker? Welcome to the live stream. Thanks for jumping in the chat. Hope you're being safe out there. The weather's getting pretty nasty. It's again this week. Momo, it's kind of crowded up there, buddy. David, I think you left a comment last week towards the end of the live stream, or maybe some point in the live stream, and I didn't get your comment. If you could drop that in here in the next few minutes, if you remember what it is. I just want to make sure I touch base on that, just because I don't want to forget any of our viewers' questions. Or if I do miss something, feel free to email me or reach out to us on Facebook so I can get those questions answered. I don't ever want anyone to not have an answered question, or at least me be aware that they had a question. And if I can't get an answer, I will find it. I did email support about the firmware versions and the Chroma, since I'm on 1.7x, and they said I can install the Chroma and just upgrade to 1.85. Okay. So since you're on the 1.7 versions, you'll be able to install it and then upgrade. Okay, that's good to know. I have no idea what firmware I am on currently. I know a while back I reset my firmware. It was during the time I was having those Hall sensor spring issues that I fixed with a big pen, or a Sharpie pen. So let me turn this off here. My phone's dinging at me. But yeah, so without too much more ado into this, let's get this going. We're going to turn this A1 on so we make sure it works. I've already printed quite a few things on this, and we got it 2 days ago. Printed a bunch of Skådis holders for filament racks. It's a preview. If you guys are tuning in the live stream, you're going to see a bunch of stuff that you'll see later in different videos that we have coming out. So this first one is the Pananomi. I don't know if I want to tackle this or if I want to tackle the AMS hub first, but David Walton. Originally they had said you had to reinstall 1.7x, but they said you don't have to now. Okay, so by the time they got it out to us, they figured it out. That's good to know. I'm guessing that maybe with the recall that they had, or recall, delay in shipping, whatever you want to call it, maybe they fixed it up then before they got it out for most of us. So that's exciting to see. Also, I don't remember if I stated it on last week's live stream or not. Our U1 has shipped to us, not FedEx or anything, but it's on the boat. It's in one of the oceans somewhere on its way to us. That's exciting. From what I'm seeing on different channels, that printer is changing things for people, and I'm super excited. I've seen like a multicolor print like we're doing here on our P1Ss, and the amount of filament waste they don't have is super exciting, especially for that price point on that printer. I hope they keep it around the $800 mark and they don't bump it up to the $1,000, because I feel like that would be kind of a cash grab, but who knows. David or Andrew Crowd, good to know. Get my Chroma kit tomorrow, so I'll go directly. All right, cool. I love seeing the community members help each other out. All right, so let's open this If you're just joining the live stream, or if I didn't talk about it earlier, having our roll gold pretzels, the OG pretzel sticks, along with our strawberry kiwi sparkling ice water as our munchies. I got some sort of package from Sunlu here. I don't know what it's in it, and I don't know when I got it. So at some point I'll open this up and see what it is. It sounds like a 3D pen. I think I purchased it a long time ago. Just never opened it up. I have another one, and it works great welding things. So let's get this A1 hub opened up here. I printed off the bracket, and I think I can take it off here. Yeah, it's interesting. So this little bracket for this A1 hub, it sits on the housing. It's got two little nubs that clip into the speaker hole. And I printed it out of PETG by Strong Arrow 3D. That's why this is like blue. It was like a little bit of leftover random filament that I have. But it just slides on here and clips in between this guide axis rail and clips right into the little holes, like this vent area. Well, let's get this opened up here. There's a packet. I don't know what that is. It's empty. So I got some extra parts here just in case we need them. I imagine we're going to need some cables for these AMS systems. Oh, if you want to see what I got printed for these AMS systems as a preview, all of these are brackets that are going to go on there at some point. Because what I've been noticing, I didn't get a chance to, I didn't know about this issue with the Sunlu video. And it's not really an issue for most people because they probably don't have cats. But the touch screens on the Sunlu filament heaters, or the filament dryers, as the cats go by, they can set it off. So I gotta lift them up and like angle them so that they don't do that. So I came in one day and I was like, why is my filament heater on? I'm like, and that's sure enough. I heard Dante walk by one and beep. I'm like, oh, that's what's going on. So that's part of the Skådis upgrade. There's two versions of this file. I don't remember who it's by right now, but in the video I will make sure that's on there. But you can either mount it directly to the wall. There are mount points, or there are optional Skådis sections that you can, they clip in here, but I go a little step further and put Gorilla Glue in them just because I want to have that extra support. And I do believe they suggest using adhesive because they will slide out. They're not loose, but I just trust having the adhesive in there. And there's 3 of them for each bracket. So I printed it out of PETG from Sunlu and black Sunlu filament. So why is my PLA melted? The cats. Yeah. It hasn't happened yet, David, but I'm a little worried that one day I will come in here and it'll be set to like PETG level or ABS level drying and heating, and I'm gonna look and see, like Riley right now, I don't know if you guys can see it, they love these heaters because they're warm on top when they're on. And that one on the end, it was on a little bit earlier, so they love them. These actually, when you have them up on the wall, they make it angled so they won't sit on top of them. And if they do, I'm assuming they're strong enough since they're going to hold 40 pounds of, well, not 40 pounds of filament, but 4 rolls of filament in there with them, that I shouldn't have any issues with that. And some of the other things that I've tried, I've had that issue, like, okay, if there's cat weight on it, it'll break. But this seems to be and I like how they designed the pieces to interlock with each other. So, and when I opened the file, I could already see that they did some care to it, because the interlocking pieces, they had modifier boxes around the pieces where it's 100% infill, so it just like really locks together. But let me not get distracted with my ADHD here. This is the Pananomi. We'll do that in a minute. So there's that. Something I didn't know about the A1. I mean, I think I knew, but I didn't really like you know, those things that you know, but it doesn't like come to you until like how cool it is until you actually do it. The A1, I can swap my build plate with the P1S's back and forth. That's nice. I really like that. And for when I see online, you can do the same thing with a P2S. If you have a P2S in the chat, drop it in the comments. Can you swap those build plates out? I haven't gotten around to get one of those yet because I have a suspicion that Bamboo's coming out with an X2C next year. So I'm guessing that's going to be like their that's going to be their H2C cheaper version, and it's going to have like four nozzle swappers or something. I don't know. I'm not affiliated with Bamboo. I have no secret evidence in the back channels. So this is the AMS hub, and since I printed that bracket already, there's no. I wonder if I must have changed it. Let's see if we can go to the website here. On Bamboo's website, Bamboo Lab. I'm gonna go to their store. Let me switch to your guys' screens here so you can see what I'm doing. Where's my screen share here? I'm gonna turn off the webcam here. So what we're doing here is I'm going here. So I want to pull up the A1 hub, and I can't order this thing. I actually want to order another one at some point, but as you can see when I click on it, every time I go on here, it's the date is pushed back further and further. Estimated December 19th, 2025. I actually had to order this from Kaz 3D, which is like a California company. That's a distributor for Bamboo. See right there, Dante. Yeah, he walked right by it, and I heard it beep. So I had to order that from them, and luckily they got it to me in a relatively decent amount of time. But I need a second one for my A1 Mini at some point. As much as I like the AMS light, it really struggles with that retraction because the motors aren't designed to do that. It's meant to push it in and then slightly retract it back out. These have much more horsepower, and you don't get the retraction errors that you will get on the AMS light. That's why I'm doing this. Well, one of the reasons. So I want to go down here, and it should say, please learn more about the installation. Tools and materials needed. Purchase link. That's great. Printed AMS hub bracket. That's what I did. Why is AMS hub needed? Now I want to know. All right. I have my video muted, so it shouldn't play, but I'll mute this just in case. Yeah, I know I don't have an AMS light, so we'll skip that. Okay. I'm gonna pause this to make sure I'm not missing any comments, concerns, questions. We're gonna go over here. Nope, we're good. It's nice when I have cardboard spools. I use my A1. Yeah, because that probably wouldn't void your warranty, huh? I'll keep the AMS light, but oh, that's different. So I got a different bracket. I printed it off. Install the bracket in the AMS hub. Yeah, that's the bracket I just have right there. So it slides in, the 4 prongs go down. Let me go back here so you guys can see what I'm doing. Back, you get someday I'll figure out how you guys don't have to see that infinite screen of death. But the 4 prongs, or not 4 prongs, 4 holes go down for the PTFE tubes. So we're gonna slide that in there like we just saw in the video. I'm not sure I like how that just can pop back out of there, but that's how they had there. Let's go back here. They turn the printer on. Mine's already on. Switch the AMS type. It's really hard to see. Okay. Okay, I see you, Bamboo. So you have to go out of the printer settings and switch it. Let's see. Settings. By the way, I know you can't see me on the camera right now. AMS options, AMS light. We're going to switch to the AMS 2 Pro. Please unload all filament before switching. Unload filament. I got to unload this PETG I was printing with earlier. The touchscreen on the A1 is a major upgrade than what it is on the A1 Mini. Hmm. It's heating up the nozzle right now. Yeah, it's a major upgrade in every way than the one it's kind of like mounted into the A1 Mini. Sometimes I'll accidentally hit other areas on the A1 Mini because one, my fingers are too big and the screen is smaller than what I'd prefer. Let me put you guys back to screen here so you don't get stuck looking at the Bamboo website. Hot Plastic, welcome to the channel. We're upgrading our A1 to be able to print with multicolor. We got the AMS 2 Pro and AMS HT. And these are units that we've had. Uh, with your cardboard spools, David, with your A1. All my cardboard spools now go into my AMS Generation 1 because they're all well past their warranty. And eventually I won't have any cardboard spools left because I'm phasing out the Elegoo filament. And I think Polymaker is the only filament that I'll have for glow filament that is on a cardboard spool. All right, so I heard the printer beep at me. All right. Filament is retracted out of there. Unload complete. Let's see. We're gonna go back to. Oops, I gotta let you guys gotta go with me. So it means I gotta open up the screen capture here. So we switched that over from the AMS Lite to the AMS 2 Pro. Let's see what they want us to do now. Oops. Connect the printer to a single AMS. Oh. Now wait a minute. What's the purpose of the hub? I'm not connect multiple AMS units. That's what we're gonna do. Okay, yeah, I figured as much. We'd have to plug in PTFE tubes to get into the bottom. Okay, they show 3 and an AMS HT. 4. Okay, that's intense. Filament loading and drying. The only thing I can see is that it's got the buffer spring, but so does the top part. Okay. Okay, for drying features, you need to plug it in. Okay. Is there anything else useful here? Nope. All right, so I'm gonna go back to our live stream here. Hey, there's my desktop. Screen capture off, webcam on. So its hub probably acts like the little buffer since the light handles things differently. That's the only thing I can think of. The hub connects for AMS, but you could technically, maybe someday I'll make a video on this trying it. But technically, this is the spring too, and it's got 4 ports. So why can't you connect 4 AMS into it? I don't know. I guess, but yeah, find out. So I don't want this. I don't want this. We're gonna set those aside. All right, we got those going. Don't want this right now. I am not thirsty or hungry. Uh, yeah, that's the only thing I'm like left wondering is why that is like that. But okay, so the first things first, they said connect the first AMS. And I had PTFE tubes here. They're there. I've got drawers of these because we've ordered enough of them. Anytime I order like a maintenance kit, it comes with extra stuff. But it doesn't come with is a pair of wire snips to get the zip tie off. Actually, I might not need that. Just want to slide this out of here. If you guys haven't seen it yet, we did just drop that P1S video. That was exciting. That took some editing. Holy cow. Like every time I turn around, I was like, man, I got to add this too. I forgot about that. Forgot about this too. So this is going to be, I almost wish I would have had this over here. Let's move that real quick. Being that the hub goes on the other end. Okay. We're going to switch the AMS units and the printer around here real quick. We're going to print some of our Hatchy Pals on this printer. Hatchy Pals are our coined nickname for the like little critters that Cinderwing 3D and other artists design. They're little toys for kids, fidget toys that design like shaped like animals or fantasy creatures. They're kind of in right now, at least in our area. And I want to see how fast this little poop bucket I printed out fills up. 'Cause that stuff fills up quick. That'll be the next thing I got to figure out how to design a poop system around this versus the enclosed system. Let's set this aside. I want to put this up here. I already see that this is going to need some sort of thing to keep it out of the way. I'll move it down further so it's less constrictive. Those of you that have OCD, I am sorry. I know that my table is kind of chaotic. That's how we keep things glorious around here, though. All right. So, oh, it's going to bug me. I get that off that mat. There we go. That's better. So the first thing they said is to connect the PTFE tubes. I have my PTFE tube cutter here somewhere. So if you don't know what one of these are super handy to make sure that when you cut your PTFE tube, it's a straight cut and not an angle cut, which I don't know if it necessarily matters anymore, but in the old days when you had Bowden extruders, oh my God, if it wasn't straight on, it was a nightmare. So I have plenty of these left over. They were like a couple dollars back in the day, so I have tons of them. Some of them, when you ordered PTFE tubes, they gotta go here. A lot of them will come with cutters. So this is going to be for the AMS 2 Pro. That's interesting. I wonder if you can almost, before I get too far into this, can you mount this way? Okay, that'll be nice. To be able to mount that way, in case whenever things go up on the wall here, I can have that option. Maybe there's one out there for the Skådis panel, so I can put it up just up on the Skådis panel and not on this thing. I'm sure there's one out there. Skådis is a pretty popular system. All right. Got that one on there. Now we need one for the AMS HT. So thank you guys for joining us on the live stream. If you guys are just joining us recently, we hit that 1,000 subscriber mark, and that was awesome. And we are now almost at 1,100. So thank you all for continuing the support. I don't know where my snippers went to here. There they are. So I appreciate that. Hope you guys see every day the little tiny upgrades that we make up here in the studio. We're cleaning up some of the wires and cables, and get this stretched out here. Learning editing skills. Hot plastic. Congrats on the 1K. That's huge. Yes, I know. It's like the algorithm all of a sudden is like, hey, he exists. So, is that PTFE tube cutter a 3D print? No, but I'm sure you could because it's just plastic. Molded plastic. It's there's one little screw in it that holds the blade in. I'm sure you could probably 3D print this. I'm sure there's a file out for it by now, and then you can just get the blades. How long does this need to be? Not very long. I might be able to use one of the pre-dispositioned tubes that they assigned here. Thought I had some here. Yeah, I might be able to get away with this one. Yep. That way I got to cut any unnecessarily PTFE tubes. All right. Now they said you take one of... Did you finish printing the pretzels? Yes, David, I did finish printing the pretzels. They are in this little bin right here. They printed off good, but I got a little bit of work to do. These brims are a little rough to come off of. I wish I would have printed them without brims, but they look great. They look like an actual pretzel. So I'll probably send a few of them your way if you'd like, or if any of you guys would like a printed pretzel, you can email me at thegloriousgeeks01@gmail.com or send us a message on Facebook with your contact information, how we can get one of these to you, and a nice little letter. That'll be my project for next week, is to get these little buggers peeled apart like a banana. But if you're wondering what this is a LED light display that I want to put somewhere here in the studio. This actually glows in the dark. It's pretty cool. PETG. All right, that's empty, but I can put this back in it now. Get our mess cleaned up here a little bit before we proceed. My goal for this system here is, if this works for the A1, it'd be nice to have a multicolored printer that doesn't have to be enclosed. And it doesn't really bother my cats. Riley was sitting next to it earlier, and it didn't bother him at all. He was watching it go back and forth. So it's good to see that they weren't bothered by it at all. Here's another pretzel. I see you have 3 Sunlu AMS heaters. Is it safe to say you are happy with them? I'd like to get one of my AMS 1. So yes, very happy with them. If you can, hang on probably maybe a week or two, because IBOS is sending us their AMS heater, because we have one unit that's not upgraded, that it actually is supposed to be delivered next couple days, and then I'm going to assemble that, do an assembly video, and they have the 4 individual bays that you can control, and I'm going to do a comparison on the 2. I absolutely love these. I want to make sure that as a content creator, and that if I if I say something works and there's something better out there, that I do like a comparison video so that you guys can make your most educated decision. I do love these, absolutely. The only limitation that I see on them, as far as the heating element goes, is that you can't like dry PETG and PLA at the same time because those bays are connected. It's all in one internal bay. Now, for me, that doesn't really matter very much. I only print at the lowest possible setting on there, and it works just fine. I print at the, what is it? The stored value I have in there is 95 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is Celsius, but it works great. There's some filament I have here in the studio that has been out for months, and I'm sure it's collected filament. I put it in there for about 3 hours and pop it out. It's ready to go. Or if I can print while I'm drying it because it dries the outer layers first. So if I really have to get it on the printer, I turn it on about 30 minutes before I start printing. I put it in there, turn it on for 30 minutes, and then I start printing. And no issues, no stringing. Well, there was a few prints a while back there. I think it was one of our short videos. You'll see it's like one of our glow lights. The frogs had a bunch of stringing on them on the time lapse. But yeah, hot dip plastic. I'm gonna have that unit in hand from Ibos. Uh, Now there will be a price difference between this unit, which is I think right now Sunlu has it for about $110. And with our discount code, I think you get like 100, get it for 105. The Ibos one, since it is the 4-bay heater, and from what I see on the review videos, it does require a lot more assembly. This was super easy. We actually assembled it on video for you guys. Uh, that requires much more assembly, but you get more functionality. Each bay is controlled. It has a touchpad, button touchpad, controllable bay, and I'm super excited to see what that's all about. Back to where we were going. So we need to get these bad boys connected. So I need what is it, a 4-pin or a 6-pin first? Looks like I need where's a 4-pin from the machine to the hub, which I'm guessing is what these are for, that they sent me. Or is it these ones? Probably these ones. Oh, these are extra cables I have. Extra parts that I inevitably have laying around here at some point. So we got this connector goes in the back on one of the ports. Click that in. I'm going to turn the machine. Oh, no, I didn't. The video didn't say to turn it off, so I'm not going to. It would help if I have the right connector. That's a 6-pin connector. We need the 4-pin. So we take the 4-pin connector from the back. I'm going to straighten this out a little bit here because it's kind of kinky. It's got bends and twists all over it. There it is. Got that. And this one goes from the back of the hub to the first AMS unit, which will be our AMS 2 Pro. So that's on there. And then we got to have a cord that goes from the AMS 2 Pro. I just need a short little one. I don't really need. Yeah. Oh, that's a 4 connector. Nope, that's not going to work. I need a short 6. There we go. Short 6 connector to go from the back of the 2 Pro to the AMS HT. So a lot of the glow-in-the-dark prints that I do, they have, I mean, they're abrasive. So they really, really, really wear out our AMS Generation 1s. Not just the PTFE2s, but I mean, those inlets where the filament goes in, in general, they're just not, the original AMS was not made for abrasives. the AMS2 Pro and even more so the AMS HT are a little more abrasive friendly because they're advertised that you can do carbon fiber and stuff on them. You're still going to get that PTFE2 wear in them. That's inevitable. With those abrasives, it's like sandpaper on skin. It's just going to erode it. But that's why we're using these units for that. All right, so now we should be there. Now, if I did this correctly, let me look at the screen here. We should have, the current firmware only supports one AMS light. Please remove all AMS units before reconnecting the supported AMS light device. It's not an AMS light device. Settings, AMS option. For some reason, AMS type went back to AMS light, so I'm going to disconnect these for now so that it's not sensing them. And then I'm going to switch that option again. Oops. AMS2 Pro. And it asked me if I want to switch the firmware. I said yes. So apparently, I'm not on the camera very well here. So apparently, with this, it requires a whole set of different firmware parameters, which makes sense because it is a different material system. I just wasn't expecting that. So it's switching right now. I'm gonna grab some pretzels and stuff real quick. Funny story, I was working down here after I had printed those pretzels, and I had some pretzels on a plate, and I had one and two were the printed pretzels. I almost ate one. All right, we got it on the screen over here. All right, so we got the AMS type on the screen correctly. We're gonna plug it back in. A new firmware update is available. Do you want to update now? Yes. It'll take about 3 to 5 minutes. And now a message from our sponsors. Oh wait, we don't have any. Pat the Star, yo, what's happening? Welcome to the live stream. We're messing around with the A1, AMS, the new A1 hub. Finally got it. Took us forever. Still can't order it on the Bamboo website, but we're trying out and see what it's all about. See if this thing can really do some work. You're going to be able to see some of the previews of what we got coming out. I've got this whole box of brackets here that I've printed. Again, I can't remember what the file creator's name is right now. My bad on them. But it's amazing. There's like a whole system designed, like drawers and everything. But what these are for is so we can lift these up onto the Skådis panels, or there's also a hole put in them. So if you want to mount, if you have like a wall behind it, and it's nice. It's not just flat for when you mount it out, but it rotates it forward slightly so that, excuse me, it's easier to access, especially with these new lids that I have with the AMS upgrades. Iceman74, I just did that upgrade last week on my A1. Love it. All right. Yes, we got experience in the room. So we're doing that upgrade. I can already see one of the spools is rolling. That's exciting. And in case you haven't noticed, I absolutely love these cryo grip plates. They are amazing from BQ. I wish the orange ones would have been out a year ago when I bought all mine because, you know, we're orange is kind of our color. But the blue though really does make the time lapses pop. So those are in there now. What I want to see, and I'll open up Bamboo Studio on my end here. We're gonna double click that, and then I'll get a screen swapped over for you guys. Now, what I want to see is what this interface looks like now versus what I'm used to when I click on my little Wally here, our A1. You guys can see all my junk on my desktop here. So we got some files that I printed out here recently. Now we want to go to prepare. Oh, I got to add the, oh my goodness, this is so new. I don't even have it in there. No, I don't want to do that. I want to go to, is it this button? See, this is where a screen would be helpful for me to watch the live chat up here. I'll get that going here soon. Yeah, I didn't have this. Someday I'll have maybe this one and or not that one, this one and that one. Someday. Oh, I'm surprised they see an anchor in there. All right, so there's the Bamboo Lab A1. Now I want to go to the device tab, and there's Wally. Okay, so it already sensed the orange that I have in there. That's a Bamboo Lab filament. And it has sensed the brown. Oh no, the brown was already pre-programmed into that one. So that was the orange one. So now I think I have, what was it under? Yeah, the barn owls here. Was it this one or? Yeah, it was the other file. Let's try that other one. This guy. I already filled up a whole plate full of these, but because this is why I like the A1 better than the P1S right now. Let's switch now. Oh, I did have it all on a big build plate, but maybe I gotta open it. But anyways, uh, so this doesn't have the A1 doesn't have that weird exclusion area for the filament cutter because it's already off to the side. Uh, so we're gonna slice this. This is a 4-color print, so we need brown, black, tan, and white. I got a brown in there already. And don't really have any tans, so maybe a different file. But it's cool that we can see those in there. Let's see, seahorses. There we go. This is what I wanted here. This is what I opened up earlier. It'll allow me to open it up now. There we go. I print a bunch of these on the same build plate. Oh, it's not gonna let me do it. That's sad. Let's see what other multicolored prints we can go on. Online models. There we go. This will be fun. Mini multicolor. We'll do that one. Download and open. Project, let's say, no, we don't want to save. That's a tiny perch tower. That's nice. So white and that light blue, and then, which I have that actually, and white. So we're gonna fill it up here. I'm not really optimizing it. I just want to be able to put this on here. So I'm gonna put this all to Sunlu. PLA, PTG. What is my, uh, that's cool that you can see that. But why does it sense, oh, because that would help. It'd help if I had it plugged in, or the filament in. So let's check comments here to make sure I'm not missing anything. Pat the Star, all right, homie, I gotta finish up making this dinner, drop the follow so I can check out some content when I get a printer. All right, thanks, Pat the Star. I appreciate you liking, following. Go enjoy that dinner. All right, so we don't need this. I'm gonna go back to Streamlabs here. We're gonna go off screen capture. So we got that upgrade complete. That's nice to see. Now, we're gonna move on to the next one, which is the Pananomi. I lied. This would have been bad. If I hadn't done this, I'd be in big trouble when I went to print. There's no PTFE2 coming out of that hub. Whoops. Let's fix that. There we go. Much better. At some point, I'll take this thing off. I don't know if I can do it now or not. But, all right. Let's get some mess cleaned up here. Put this back in a filament rack over here. Oh, that's something else I was going to ask you guys while we're on the live stream here. If you have any good suggestions on like filament racks, I have a bunch on the Skådis system, but something that's like not wall mounted would be awesome. Because I've got all my leftover filament from different prints and such that's just, it's on a rack. It's just not a very good one. I got it off of Amazon and the wheels, the first week, the wheels broke. All right. Pananomi, where are you at? Where'd you go, my little friend? Not there. Ha. So this Pananomi kit from Big Tree Tech, BQ, comes in a kit, so you can get just the Pananomi, or you can get like the little enclosure that holds them on there. That's what we did. We got it at the same time we got our A1. It was a duplicate purchase, but whoops. We're gonna get it going. So there was no directions in that box. So this is the little guy. Oh, Henry, I don't gotta buy you a duck. We got a little duck for you. Henry's my son. I meant to get him a rubber ducky for his bath time, but we got one now. So here's the instructions. Shout out to Sesame Street. We'll use those in a second. This kit comes with this clear clip-on cover. This is the Pananomi screen. This is, if I remember correctly, the back clip-in case. It keeps it from falling out the back. Andrew Crabb, check out the modular filament drawer system from Robert Cowan DIY on Printables. I will do that, sir. Robert Cowan DIY on Printables. The only one that I've checked out, or I haven't really checked it out, I added it to our Skådis collection on Maker World. There is one that we can print for these B-Word posts that clip to the post, but I don't want to use it for my filament. I want to use it for those empty empty Sunlu rolls that David and I were talking about last week. I got, oh, I probably have at least 50 of those empty rolls just lying around. If you guys need some, let me know. So this is for the Pananomi. This is the 4-pin connector that plugs it into the, oh, that's where I got all these other ones, into the machine, into the A1. Pananomi, make it yours. Now, I will say, because I almost said Apple. Oh my God. Because Bamboo Labs are very proprietary and closed door for their accessories. If you want to use the Pananomi, the printer has to be in LAN mode, which means if you want to remotely do your printer, you have to be on the same network in order to program it. That's why Alfie is on the same network, and we program his little face for when we print. Okay, I think these are all empty now. Make sure. Yep. This one's empty. This one's empty. Got all that done. So we're going to try to see if we can do this off of memory based off of when we installed it on the A1 Mini. That's trash. I need to put a trash can here. If you guys have a trash can file that you've like printed or that you've printed for yourselves, let me know. I did see like Uncle Jesse printed, like I think it was like a Cookie Monster one or something. That was pretty cool. So when you do the Pananomi, be careful with the screen. It is very sensitive. It's just a tiny little guy. Now I'm not going to go off memory. I'm going to go off the book. Assembly of Pananomi. Gently peel off the protective cover, which means I got to open this up. Cute little sticker there. I'm not sure what that's for. Got to open up our screen here, Pananomi screen. Slide it out of here very gently. Watch me drop it. It looks like you can tear it too to make it easier. Not really. But get it going. There we go. I try not to touch the back of it too much, but they do want us to peel off the screen protective cover. Put it into the front thing. And it looks like the USB port goes up. USB-C port goes up, just like our other one. Clips into here. This fits much better than the USB, or the USB, 3D printed one that I did for our machine, our A1 Mini. And then next step is to take this piece, this clear, and put it in place here. And this snaps in. This has got snap connector pieces. It doesn't turn and lock like ours does on Alfie. I say ours like this one isn't ours. I see where they want it, but I gotta get it to go. Push this back in here. Can be kind of tricky. If you're just joining the live stream, we are upgrading our A1 that we just got a couple different ways. We just put the AMS hub for the A1 together. That is all ready to go. Now we're doing our Pananomi because we know we like to add personality to our printers. Maybe someday all our P1Ss will get one. Okay, so there we go. Just gotta snap there. There it is. I was scared. I thought I broke it, but I didn't. Okay, so our little Pananomi is in his home. Then number 4, A1 series toolhead. Press the toolhead cover from both sides to unlock and remove it. Press the toolhead cover from both sides to unlock and remove it. Easier if I do this from the front. There we go. Try not to block your guys' view of said. Now I am a little sad that there are some like modifications you can do to the one that I have here, that you can actually print a Pokeball in there and some other cool files, and they're in the spins as you do it. Hey, where'd my directions go? They're over there. Number 5 is the rotating wheel. You need to remove that. So we're going to pop that off there. Goodbye, rotating wheel. Number 6 is pass the power cable through the designated holes. And where did our power cable go to? There it is. So we're going to stretch this out a little bit here. Just like our A1 Mini, we have to pass this power cable through the cutter hole and then out the little hole right here. And then plug it into the back of the Pandanomi, into the little white connector. That's done. Now this should just clip back on here. Very nice and easy. Oh yeah, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Then, next step is the next page. Maybe. Oh, I gotta open it up. Whoa. This escalated quickly. Raven Dark Cloud, hey, how's it going? It's going great. We're upgrading our A1 today. We just hit that 1,000 subscribers. We got the A1 series printer here, and we're doing the A1 hub thing and doing the Pandanomi thing, doing some upgrades, because we're gonna do some cool things here in the studio. Andrew Cobb, a few video ideas for you. How to maintain your printers, difference between bills plate, how to fix issues, how the printers work over time, a year or more. Absolutely. Because this chat doesn't save for me, can you email me those ideas? Any ideas you guys have for videos? You can drop them in like the comments of a regular video, or even better, you can email them to me at Ken at the Glorious, or not Ken at the Glorious Geeks, thegloriousgeeks01@gmail.com. I'll put that in the chat real quick for you guys. But yeah, all those video ideas, I'm loving it. Where do we get realistic cat STL files? I don't know. That's a good question. I might have to find out the answer to that. But as you can see, I got some pretty realistic 3D prints here, don't I? No, they love the printers. I mostly print with PLA or PETG with the HEPA filters in there. So my little friends here are, they're well taken care of. We also, thank you to Frozen, they're sending us that ventilation system that they have that they just released. So I'll be able to connect. That's also why I got to redesign a lot of this. I can connect that filtration system to the back of each one of these printers with tubing. So all these are going to slide out a little bit, and there'll be duct tubing, and then it'll vent out the top over there out to outside. So it'll be even more than it already is. So, but they like the heat of the printers. I catch them napping on that all the time. So if you guys have any, like I said, any ideas for videos, you can send them to that email that I just dropped in the chat. Right. Let's get back to that Pandanomi. Make sure I spelled that email right, because sometimes I fat finger keys. The Glorious Geeks. Yep. Okay. So now we're going to install that. I clipped it. Yep. Installation is complete. We got to run this along with our other cable, because we like cables in this place. Just don't call me Larry. All right, so this goes to here. And then we can go over to here. This is why I'm glad that they have multiple. Oh. I'm gonna have to print some cable guards for this. I can already see where some of our furry friends were trying to chew on the cable. Jeez, oh Pete's. That's why in enclosed printers, got some perks. But no, I'll just get like a wire loop or something that goes here. Raven Dark Cloud, have you gotten to look at the Centauri stand files yet? Also, thanks for the Skådis incorporation idea. I am working on getting onto that. That is part of this upgrade series that I am getting ready to do. So an update for that. This section that you see behind me, this is all going to be bamboo printers because they're all the multicolor printers. And then our non-multicolor or bigger printers are going to go in another section. And as I get that section put out, which our Centauris are over here, as I do that, I'm going to be printing all that stuff. As you can see, I am constantly printing those everything Skådis. So those will be super useful. So I appreciate you working on that and getting those done. I want to be able to put those up on the stands, have those Skådis panels be able to, so I can put tools and stuff on there. So that's super. So thank you for designing that. We will be featuring that Raven Dark Cloud. So we got that on there. So I plugged that in. The next one is going to be the connecting the Wi-Fi and all that cool stuff. So that will be set up for later. But that is how you connect it, power cord and stuff. We're going to put these pieces away for later. I'm guessing that these were some sort of LED lights that they send with it for the X1 carbon, maybe. So we'll put this down here. So now we're going to test out this. I am almost done with the riser for it. It works like a car hood. Raven Dark Cloud, if you're doing a riser for it that works like a car hood, is the side panels part of that riser? Because this is what I printed for the P1Ss, and I use these constantly. And then the riser, it's weird. The riser rises with the Skådis, so it like folds up into it. So, but I'm assuming when you say folds up like a car hood, it's kind of like our frozen Arcos here. Is that kind of what you mean? Because that would be sick. It would be, you could like lift like it rises with the glass. I wish I was cool and engineering like you guys. I don't have a knack for that, so I appreciate all those things that you guys are doing out there in the engineering world. Where was I? Oh, we're gonna program this file. So you guys get to see a little bit behind the scenes on what I do for our, and if you have a suggestion on how I can better optimize this, I am all open to suggestions. We're going to go back to this file that I was doing. I actually want to go back to that OWL file that I was doing. Recently open, there we go. No, I don't want to save that. So this takes me about a few minutes, so bear with me. I usually slide this over. This one won't be so bad because it's not an odd shape, it's just like a cylinder. So once I get enough of them on there to make a row, my computer is like working overtime right now. The fans are running so fast. Okay, so I'm gonna go back out of here. I'm gonna delete these ones. What I usually wind up doing, these two gotta go because they're, and these two gotta go. Or these ones here, I'm gonna slide these over so that we can squeak them in here. And then these ones here, whoops. That's what happens when you don't hold the shift down button, kids. Let's squeak these in here. And then copy and paste those and slide them this way. What we're doing these for is these are for like the art fairs and stuff that we do. They sell really well and they help support the channel here. Keeping us doing our cool hobby. I'll check the comments here in just a second, guys. I promise I have not forgotten about you. And this will give you a quick tutorial on if you want to be able to program these tiny little hatchlings, or hatchy pals as we call them. Cinderwing calls them hatchies, or hatchlings. She just released a bunch of fidget clickers recently too, which is cool. They're hot cocoa cups. I want to see how well, if this machine can handle this multicolor printing as well as our P1Ss. Because this type of print is what we put our P1Ss through regularly. Get this last row done and I'll check the chat again. Hello, chat. Where are you? The owl is cute. Yeah, I love the owls. That the A1 combo kit is at a nice price right now for people getting into 3D printing. Yeah, all the bamboo stuff right now is really, really affordably priced. One, I think I don't necessarily think they're clearing out older models, maybe a little bit, but I think they're making more room for their newer stuff. I actually think the P2S is kind of affordable too right now. But I think that's affordable for a whole different reason. Now, I think this is going to be an issue here, so I'm going to get rid of this one. So that's what a full build plate. Oh, I could probably put that one. I think I could put another one over here. Yep. All right, so I'm going to save this. We're going to change our filament type here to Sunlu, because you know we love them. If you buy Sunlu filament, you can use the code BGlorious at checkout and get a little bit of discount, and it helps support the channel. But we got a white, a black, a tannish, and a brown that I gotta go find. We're gonna slice this plate and see how long it takes. And while that's happening, I'm gonna check and see if I got any browns around. I know I have dark brown. So I'll have to change one of the filaments. So I got a roasted chestnut PLA 2 plus 2.0 that we'll put in here. This is just sitting in here. Okay, what color is going to be most? I think it's going to be the white. So I'll put the white in the AMS HT. So brown. I saw a video out the other day about how a lot of the people now, or not people, but a lot of the companies now are trying to look into a standardized RFID tag system for these rolls of filament, which would be nice because I almost want to make those glow in the dark, but it'd be nice because if I could just load up the Sunlu like bamboo filament and it recognizes it, that would be awesome. So there's the white, we got the brown, and then I need a light brown, and it looks like a black. I'm gonna have to get a new black out. I think maybe I got one in this machine over here. Oh, I don't want to disturb you, Riley. You're sleeping good. All right, so I need a light brown and a black. Oh, yeah, we got a PLA, another PLA 2.0, bone white, and then a black. I have to use a refill. I did the calculations after last week's live stream, guys, and the prices of the Sunlu filament on the roll, if you buy 10 of them, it's like if you were to bought the, I see if I can explain this correctly. If you buy 10 of these refills, you could get 11 of these. So it's like, you almost, I don't want to give up a whole roll of filament. So this is the PLA black from Sunlu. You want to, as part of our Sunlu AMS heater video, we did cover that these filament rolls are spools are swappable with bamboos. Now I just gotta figure out which side I got here. Let me go back to our live stream so you guys can see. I just realized I left you on screen capture. Sorry guys. ADHD. All right, so that one's on there. But these rolls are swappable with the bamboo filament rolls, which is super nice. I didn't realize this the other day. The RFID tags that come on the bamboo filament rolls, they automatically go onto these. It happened to me, and I was like, "What? How did that program?" And I didn't realize that it's actually on the cardboard in the spool. So that was a pleasant surprise. So we're gonna line our little slots here. Maybe. Where is it? There it is. Uh, the only recommendation I would have for these spools would be to make that little spot you have to identify to line them up a little bit brighter. I was just saying that you were still on screen. Yep. Yep. I was like, oh man, I love these guys on screen capture. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. So we got the black going in here for the eyes. We're gonna roll this green out of here. We don't need him, and we don't need this orange. So brown, black, white. Oh, and this light tan. So PLA 2.0. PLA plus 2.0 is good. I got 4 rolls of it with my S4 dryer. Yeah, I almost don't know what the difference is, to be honest. Like, I know you can supposedly print at higher speeds in it, but I just loaded it in there and selected in the slicer, and away it goes. That's a good thing. I think the more user-friendly stuff like that is for people, the more people are going to get into 3D printing. I was actually just saying the other day to someone, I don't remember who it was, that I'm like 10 years from now, 15 years from now, I'm going to say 1 of every 5 homes is going to have a 3D printer in their house at the very minimum. All right. So the brown, which is on the far right, is going to be PLA 2.0. I'm going to program this real quick again, guys. So device, wall E. Oh, that's weird. Wonder why it's doing that. I wonder why it's doing that. That's odd. I'll have to share my screen with you guys. It's only showing the AMS HT now. I can't promise I won't forget you on screen share again, but I want to show you this. So we have the A1 series hooked up. I don't know why this is happening, but it's sensing the AMS HT, but now it's not sensing the AMS2 Pro. But the AMS2 Pro is the one hooked up to the machine. Maybe I got a bad connector? Yeah, we're gonna swap out that connector and see if that's what it is. I got some more down here. That one's gonna be too short. That one will be long enough. So for some reason, it doesn't want to see the AMS2 Pro. It was seeing it earlier, and I don't know why. It's not now. My guess is maybe this is a bad cable. If it is, I'm gonna set it to the side so I can toss it out after I'm done. This is a brand new cable, which should, in theory, solve our issue. If I can connect it. There we go. Okay. No. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Yep, that's what it is. So that cable's toast. This little guy is not happy, and I don't know why. Into the trashy baggie it goes. So far right is dark brown. It's the closest dark brown I got. And it's Sunloop PLA 2.0. Our next item up for bid is Sunloop PLA Plus. And that is black. And then the next one is that off-white. I want to make sure I get this color close because there is a white in there. So we're going to click, no, no. That's pretty close. Off-white. And this is actually 2.0 as well. And then the one that's in this is actually PLA Plus. White. Now technically I could have done 5 colors, but this file is programmed for 4. And I want to be able to see, I want to see multiple AMS units working together. That's why I'm doing it the way I'm doing it. So now we should be able to see, I'm going to click print here. We'll hear our little jingle. This is going to be 2.0. I got to reslice it. Sorry, guys. I forgot I had to update the filament. And then that's fine. And I didn't give you guys the total how long it would take. Usually they take about a day to print this many. I want to see if it's going to fill up this poop bucket or if it'll overflow it. I'm surprised my computer hasn't melted yet. We're live streaming, we're slicing. There's something else I'm doing too. I don't remember what it's. Oh, the video editor was going earlier. We're putting the work to this Alienware. It's about 2 years old too, so it's not like it's spring chicken. Let me check the comments here real quick. Raven Dark Club. I got started in 3D printing at the end of 2012. It has been a great hobby. It was my job for a while designing 3D printers. That's cool. So you've probably gotten to really see firsthand like the evolution. Instead of like myself as a customer, you've probably gotten to see the evolution of 3D printers from the back end. That's cool. Yeah, super exciting to see that. Yeah, 1.5 days for this little guy to print. We're gonna click print plate. So we're really gonna see. We're gonna put this bad boy to the test. I'm gonna make sure this build plate's aligned. I should not have to. If I can get this here, it's awkward from this angle, from back here. I should not have to spray anything on this build plate. It's not. It's a cryo grip build plate. We're gonna click print. Whoop. 543 grams of filament, and 100 grams of it's a waste. That's where our Snapmaker U1 should come in. Not only should it not waste filament, but it's also a bigger build plate. It's like, it's not cute, much bigger, but it's I think it's like 20 centimeters bigger each way. So that's at least 1 or 2 more of these critters on each side in a row, allowing us to print more and thus turn more into profit. And when I say profit, I mean just support this. All right, let's get back to the live stream here. So the cats must love the warmth of the printers. Yes, they absolutely do. It's also why it's important to note that if you're printing in things that are like ABS or is it PC polycarbonate or carbon fiber, those are harmful to our furry friends, those fumes. So I don't print with any of those in the studio. I will be able to print with those soon in the studio because I will have that frozen. They have a giant enclosure kit that they just put out that they uh, offered to us at a heavy discount so that I can feature it. So it's able to fit the frozen Arco in it. Actually, I think they advertised 2 frozen Arcos in it, which is huge. This thing's not a small printer. So you're supposed to be able to put 2 of these side by side in it. And that's also another reason why I got to organize things down here, because we got that coming, we got that ventilation system coming. So it's we got some stuff coming. So that's exciting, and it's gonna benefit our kitty cats. They absolutely do love the warmth, though. You are right, Raven Dark Hub. They will also enjoy when I get these AMS units up off of the riser. It's kind of like a little nest in there for them. It's a little cutout that they'll be able to like snuggle up in. So uh, they'll each have their own little cat perch on the printers. I'm sure they'll fill them right up. Momo's around here somewhere. So and it's winter time here in Michigan, so even though we're in the studio and it's 65 to 68ish down here, they're still attracted to the warmth just out of that like survivalness mode. Waiting to see this. Oh, it's down. Okay, I had to make sure it was going. 45% is where we're at. I'm gonna close this up. So We've got tons of things that we're working on upgrading here. All of these AMS units, AMS 2 Pro, I don't know if the HT has a slot available to do it. If it does, I'll be doing it. They're all going to get these. Pretty sure it's made by K2 Kevin. I like a lot of his stuff. He designed some pretty cool stuff. These desiccant packs, just for added humidity control, and they look cool with the bamboo green or whatever, that neon green. So that's another upgrade we're doing as we're doing this stuff. There should be at some point in time, we're gonna, again, this is behind the scenes, and this could be 3 weeks from now, 6 months from now. I don't know. I don't know where it fits into the process, but it will fit in. These Skådis panels will get backlit LEDs in them. So, Raven Darkle, have you seen Prusa's automated print farm system? No, but I have on my channel feed. I've seen what the heck is the channel called? I think they're sponsored by Bamboo. But they've been doing like videos on like the A1 and how it shoots it off of there. What is it called? I don't remember, but I didn't know Prusa had an automated print farm system. That's really cool. I'm excited for their index system that's coming out. Maybe at some point we can get our hands on that system, and just like with the AMS system that I'm gonna have going on here, at some point I'd love to get an H2C. That price point's really high up there. Just to be able to have that, because all of these AMS systems can be used together. I'm printing Voron parts to upgrade my Neptune 4 Plus to a Voron. Really? I still have a Neptune 4 Pro out in the garage. I print like uh, PETG parts on there, stuff. Man, how long is this taking? 95%. We're doing good. You know, a lot of Elegoo has been getting a lot of flack lately because of the fiasco that has happened with the multicolor stuff. That I'm not going to lean one way or another, but I will say that having those two printers, I mean, don't get me wrong, the P1S can do this too, but um, having these two printers and having single color printers on hand is actually nice for certain items, because while I have my multicolors tied up, I can still print things like this sword that we take to fairs and stuff. It prints in two different pieces, so I can print the parts separately. But this is another one of the big sellers that we have at fairs. There's a fidget toy and it's a little sore, but they're workhorses, and for the price you can't beat them. I'm interested to see what Elegoo's got coming out in their pipeline. I did turn in my 2 coupons, or 2 vouchers for coupons later on when the Centauri Carbon 2 comes out. I personally think that's the best option that they offered. A 6-head tool changer using the N4 Plus hot ends. They heat fast. So you're turning your Neptune 4 Plus into a tool changer? If you could make a how-to video on that, or like a document that I can follow, that I could do that for my Neptune 4 Pro, that'd be cool. That's a tool changer. That would be how I'm interested in how, like, you were going to take that head off the mount, and then is it magnets, or keep me posted on that. That's cool, because I don't have the Neptune 4 Plus, but I had the Pro. Oh, you're going to use magnets. That'd be cool. And again, sorry for the mess, guys. We're always upgrading something here. Um, and usually recording days, I usually have the studio pretty squared away. But since we have so much content and we just got through that big recording session, which I recorded the video you just saw, and then I also recorded the hot end breakdown. Um, the only part that I have left to record for that is going to be the upgrade portion. I did the breakdown of the extruder slash hot end, but I want to also record with it the Panda claw and Panda extruder with it, so I can pair the two together for a video for you all on why this upgrade works so well. I did it on one machine. When I can do so, I'm going to do for the other two machines, because if you keep your filament cutter changed and you monitor that enough, and you also blow it out the extruder gears with that new upgrade, I have not, it's the second printer, I have not had any issues with it since. I don't get any of those weird breakages that happen in the extruder. I don't get any of the weird filament gunk that builds up in there. So it uses the stealth changer setup. I'll have to check that out. I recently just got rid of one of my Neptune 4 Pros. Now I kind of wish I would have held on to it for just a little bit longer. So this is the only part about the A1 I don't like. That bed movement calibration is really, it can really wobble stuff, but it won't bother those stands once it gets on, once I put it on there. Those are anchored into the concrete. I had to alter the stealth burner print head to fit the N4 Plus hot end. That must have been a lot of, what program did you use, like Tinkercad or something like that? That must have been a lot of in-depth work. I will say that it seems like the bed leveling goes much quicker on this than it does on my P1Ss. Oh, you use Fusion 360, and they have all the files, so that's nice. So I'm interested to see, since this print is going to take 1 day and 18 hours, but it's got like 60 owls on it, how fast does this poop bucket fill up? We'll have to come down here periodically and check it. I mean, I work down here during the day anyways, but um, will it fill up nearly as fast as a poop chute can if it backs up? Something I'm interested to see when that chroma kit gets here is that conveyor belt system that Frozen's got for the Arco. Iceman 74. I love the A1 for the bed slinger. It's a champ. It is. I've only had it for a few days, but my A1 Mini, I gotta agree. Like, it is by far the best bed slinger I've owned. And I've owned everything from a Neptune. I mean, it was all been Elegoo, but I've owned a Neptune 2, a Neptune 2S, Neptune 3, Neptune 3 Max, and then a Neptune 4 Pro and a Neptune 4 Max. All of those I've owned. And by far the least amount of work I've ever had to do on a bed slinger. I was constantly messing around with my Neptune 2s. But that was back in the early printing days. And I say early printing days, but it wasn't really early. It was 2000 2019, 2020. But I feel like there was a major evolution between 2018 and 2022. So this is calibrating right now, doing its thing. We got the A1 series with the uh, AMS units hooked up to it. If this functions well, uh, if I can ever get my hands on another one of the hubs, I might switch over the uh, A1 Mini to do the same thing. Just because although I will give it credit, I haven't had, knock on wood, I haven't had any issues with my A1 Mini in the last 2 days. What I did is I wound up swapping this piece out. It was giving me fits. I was an electromechanical engineer before becoming disabled. I know multiple CAD and CAM systems as well as being a CNC machinist. You got that stuff locked down. I'm just a little guy over here live streaming. That's cool. This is the Celestial Sword. You can find this on Maker World if you're wondering. Uh, the fidget portion is awesome, and especially if you print it on like one of those. It's not a textured build plate, but it prints like shiny stuff on it. Kids really like that. I will say the A1 isn't as it is, but it isn't. Let me explain what I'm trying to say. The noise level from the A1 and the P1S, they're noisy in different ways. When I say noisy, they're noisy and quiet in different ways. The P1S, you can really tell when it's rumbling and a grumbling. The whole enclosure rattles. Not as much as like a Centauri Carbon per se, but this one when it's moving in a groove, and you can hear that bed going which. So it's just different per se. My goal for this and the A1 Mini, when that frozen enclosure gets here, I want to set up a UV print station, and I don't mean UV like resin, I mean like glow in the dark filament with UV lights inside of it, so I can put a live stream camera in there. Raymond Darkcloud, is there something you suggest to learn CAD? I'm not good, but been using Fusion 360 or Onshape. Yeah, the only system that I've even like remotely come close to trying is, and it's because I'm intimidated by it, all this, uh, is the Tinkercad system. I played around with it for a little bit. I'm doing pretty good. It's extruding well. It's not loud. Aircraft models, that's cool. I always like have an admiration of people that can make like those functional prints and how they get the tolerances just absolutely perfect. Because I would imagine not only do you have to think about the part itself, but the different materials and tolerances that you're gonna have with, if you print in ABS versus PETG. So I will say the A1 versus the P1S, the first layer is much quieter. I don't know why. I just use the general stock settings in, or not Orca Slicer, but in Bamboo Studio. Uh, and it just seems like it's that much more quiet during that first layer. I don't hear, maybe it's the chamber fan in the back, because obviously it doesn't need a chamber fan, but uh, it's just slightly, I'd say 10 decibels quieter. I am gonna have to find some sort of file for like a cable guide on this. That's the only thing I don't like about the A1 series is the cables. Not only this cable, but you have the cable for the arm, and then also the bed cable. They're just they've done better on them, but they're just things you got to think about. I almost wish they would send you with one of these for this section. You're knocking it over, buddy. Oh, it's funny. I put that video out today about the P1S maintenance, and in the video I say, I'm pretty sure, I'm like, we haven't had any filament jams with the panic claw and panic extruder, and we still haven't. But not only did I put that video out today, but today, ironically, the third P1S over that is just got the stock extruder and gear system. Pretty sure one of the gears broke today, so we'll be upgrading that one uh, to that extruder system. I also had the hall sensor magnet go bad in that today. I don't know if it was me trying to when I was working on it, or but I had one of those on hand. So when that goes bad, it'll say that your filament cutter's stuck, and it's not. So that's when I knew I had to change it. That's what fixed that. I think while this is going, I'm gonna see if I can't. Yeah, get that off of there. I feel like I've seen somewhere where you can mount one of those on top of here. I don't know where. Um, I have to remember where I saw that at. Oh, you guys can't see the little screen over here. So as the next few weeks go on with these live streams, bear with me if the atmosphere is a little more chaotic because we're doing all these upgrades and stuff because all the new equipment's coming in. I'm hoping that we get these poles out of here and I can start filming that Skådis series sometime next week. Uh, Not sure how I want to do the format on that quite yet, but I want to talk about the. Oh, I actually have one right here. Maybe. Oh, these brackets that tie the Skådis panel into the viewer system, that'll be part of it. The LED system, wiring and stuff, that'll be part of it. One of the reasons why I like that system so much is because you can take it with you. Those Skådis panels, you can take them off the wall. They're flat, and you can put all your tools and stuff on there. And when you're done with them, if you do need to move or whatever, you take the accessories off them, you put them into a tote, And then the Skådis panels are just, I mean, you can put them anywhere. Because like if I have to move at any point in time, oof, that would be that'd be a lot if it wasn't with the SCADA system. It's not as, I don't want to say modular, but it's mobile, I guess is the word I'm trying to find. Um, our first layer is going down great. The AMS units seem to be working pretty good. Uh, the AMS Pro or AMS 2 Pro is what's pushing the filament in right now. I don't see any issue with the filament going through this hub. I almost want to say maybe I'll try it another point in time, but I still have some of the original AMS buffers that come on the P1Ss. I wonder if it would work for the hub. I don't know. Because it's just turns a 4-pin connector into a 6-pin connector. That's what that does, I think. Actually, I got one over here. Yeah, it literally, this is the original spring that came on the back, the hub that came on the back of the box. Or, what am I trying to say? Well, I guess it does allow 4 ports in there. But if you only want to connect one AMS unit to it, I wouldn't see why you couldn't use this. Because it's got the 4-pin connector to a 6-pin connector. It's got the buffer spring. Maybe this will be a trial video that I'll put out there at some point. Yikes, that's a lot of filament. I'm hoping that with that Skådis uh, series that we're starting, that Sunlu will continue to send us filament because that's what they just sent us for the next video that we're going to be, well, not next video, but the next Skådis video that we're putting out there. All the pieces that were printed for that, which includes this big old box. Sunlu did send us those filament, or send us that filament. So I'm hoping as a part of one of those episodes, I'll be able to get those out with it, Dark Raven. I think I'll be able to showcase, because the Centauri Carbon is a pretty popular printer, as is the P1S for those that are in that budget range. So having that riser and that stand of the SCADA stuff to be able to utilize tools and stuff with is helpful. Whew. The heat just turned on and made me tired. Or yawn. So if you're just now joining us or you've been on the live stream for a little bit but missed it, we're working on the A1 Mini. We want to give you a little bit of, or A1 Mini, A1, give you a little bit of a preview of what we're doing here in the studio. We got the hub, A1 hub in finally after weeks of trying to order it. We had to go through a third-party vendor, Kaz 3D Printing out in California. We got it from them. They're sold out now, by the way. I don't know where to get one of these if we want to use it for our A1 Mini, but it seems to be working great. The reason why we're doing this is we're getting ready to upgrade some things in the studio here. We're going to change this wall behind us. This is going to be the multicolor bamboo wall, I guess. And then we're going to have another area that we'll have probably a couple cameras on. That'll be the non-multicolor, single color printing wall. That'll be the Frozen Arco, the Eluga Centauri Carbons, and any other, single color or oddly shaped printer that I have to figure out a different size shelving system for. The Arco's just slightly too big with, I think, that poop conveyor system that they have. So I got to figure out a little bit different setup. Maybe I'll use the same one, but just put like a board behind it to push it up on the wall a little bit. Uh, yeah, I don't even want to know how many hours I have on my Centauri carbons. Oh man, one of them's been printing since February, so I got tons of time on it. That's one of the things I don't. I, Machines, they work nonstop. They don't need breaks. It's crazy. Uh, but we're doing lots of cool things here in the studio. We're getting that frozen uh, air purification system. That's an upgrade that we're going to have to do to get that going. So part of that is figuring out how to get the, what do they call the duct, I guess, from the back of each printer and making it look professional. And I'll probably encase it in Skådis panels at some point if I can find like Skådis panels that can connect to other Skådis panels. That's something I gotta figure out. But you'll get to see all that as part of these live streams. It's like a little bit behind the scenes per se. So I'm excited for you guys to see that each week. The differences that we cleaned up some of the cords back here. Something that I don't know if they're on the live stream anymore, but about these AMS heaters, the electricity usage isn't that much until you get uh, a few of them. So, and I don't use them all that long, but if they're all on and they're all the printers are on, I tripped a breaker. So I have to have the AMS heaters, and it's not necessarily a breaker. I've tripped the power station. So the power station that I have from Anchor is only rated for so much power to come out of it at one time. So I have to have the printers on their own line from that power station, and then the accessories on the non-power station line that all comes from the same breaker. Uh, because when I have a power outage, I don't need the accessories to keep going. That I don't need the heaters to keep going. And power outages happen a lot here in the winter in Michigan, especially on the West Coast where we're right off the lakeshore. Uh, but I don't need those EMS heaters to keep going, but I do need the printers to keep running for as long as possible. Because if I'm in the middle of a day and a half print, I don't want it to, you know, the power to go out and ruin my print. So that's what that power station is super, super good for. Raven Darkle, I have two of the Elegoo effective lasers and they run production. I don't want to know how many hours I have on a 10 watt. I actually have one of those Elegoo effective lasers too. And I'm still trying to figure out where to put it here in the studio. Um, I have the enclosure that goes with it, but the cats like to jump on top of it and it just like folds on itself. There is an enclosure system by Printable Accessories that I could print it for, and maybe I'll make that as part of a video for later. But I do want to get into some laser printing. I bought the Effecta laser, what was it, a year ago, year and a half ago? I'm not interested in the H2D and C laser versions because I really don't want that filament or that wood particle uh, burn off to go down the x-axis rods and stuff like that. I think that's just, I don't know if time will tell, but I don't know if that's a good idea because feel like it's going to cause undue breakage and unneeded maintenance that you're going to have to do with all that debris that's going to be in there from the wood burning. But I hope you guys stick around and see what we're going to keep on doing here in the studio and how we're going to grow every week and do different things. If you guys have any ideas that you want us to try on the channel, things you want to learn together, you can drop those in an email to me or over on Facebook. Let me get you our Facebook page here. I'll also put our Facebook page in a community post here on YouTube so that you can be part of the channel on Facebook. Just grabbing that for you here real quick. That is actually definitely the best way to reach me through that messenger. If you have any questions, or video topics that you want us to cover. Is laborious as the editing process is. When I get to see that video published out there, it's just like cool. This is like a chronological event, and we get to capture the history of these moments. So, but if you guys haven't, like the channel, subscribe to the channel, like the live stream. Check out that new video we just dropped on the P1S maintenance. I didn't cover like super in-depth maintenance on that, but I did cover the basics of the access rods. Somebody did drop a comment on we blow out your SD card slot. That was genius. I didn't think about that, but I do it. So check out that video and the AMS upkeep videos that we're doing. If it gives you any ideas, let me know, hit me up. And until next week, be glorious.